What's up, and welcome to Nighttime at the Nerd Bar, episode 25. Oh my goodness.
What? This show is old enough to
Oh,
rent a car.
yay.
That's not
like,
how it works, but that's
it's,
what I said.
I feel it's the most, significant number with, 25. It's like, you can rent a car.
Yay.
Um,
Yeah,
but
because
yes,
when
I was
you're
like,
18, you get
there
to
we go.
drink at, no, you get to drink at 21, but you get to vote at 18 and sign up for the military at 18. We might do things a little backwards in this country. Anyway, coming in
Yes, yes.
hot, coming in very
We
hot.
got all kinds of nice blue and purple tones today. I'm
Yeah.
liking it a lot. It is definitely major case of the Mondays for us, but we are super happy to be here talking with you all about anime. And
Yes.
we'll introduce ourselves real quick. I'm Carrie Lane, and I'm joined by
I'm Katie Cullen. Hi, all my buddies. I
Yes.
overused my voice a bit this weekend, so I may not be as loud or opinionated. And we have tea today because we'll need it.
Yay. That's a good one. Yes. We got our live chat going. We got John Knight in the chat. Hi, Carrie and Katie. Hello, John Knight.
Come by.
Yeah, if you join us live, awesome. If you're watching this later, no worries. Just leave a comment down below your thoughts on the things we discuss. Yay, we got to Giga Derek. Hello, human friends. Hello.
It's funny that you think I'm a human.
Yeah,
it's going to be one of those shows, everybody.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Well, we'll start off with, so we will be talking about Spy Family. We finished off Ranking a King, so if you missed last week's episodes, go check it out because we also had a special guest. Yay, round of applause. Thanks
Frank
again.
was lovely to talk to.
Yes, it's very fun, and so go check that out in case you missed it, doing Spy Family. And then...
And we don't plan on picking up another show to cover while we're covering Spy Family. That was one of those, we picked up a show and then the other show we were picking up kind of overlapped. We are trying to do one show at a time. We know that that will not always be the case. But for now, just talk about spying and family.
Yes, and then of course, if you are new here, we also have at the very end, we'll be talking about other things we've been watching, reading, whatnot, been around that we think you should be checking out. Beginning, even though I was like, whew, we are excited. It's that Monday. It's that Monday, but we are excited because I was like, I put it over here because I'm like, you can see it right there. Boop.
Yeah.
Yay, we got Japan Crate.
Yes.
I like the rebranding. I don't know if I mentioned it last time, but they did a little bit of a rebranding, I think, with the logo because it looks different from in the past. So
they used to have that like stencil-y font, and now this is more of a, it's not quite impact, it's more of an, it's not quite Arial bold either. It's nicer. There we go. It works better than the stencil type font.
As it's trying to open this and show on camera and not drop everything.
Yeah.
So here, bring
beautiful.
Yay. Alrighty, so if you are unfamiliar with Japan Crate, they come with these wonderful little flyers. Big flyers, rather. And
they come with literature.
This is also looks a little bit different. I think it was last time too, but so premium, you get all the above. They also have, if you want something smaller, they have, so where's the breakdown? Looks a little, I was like, doesn't seem to be at that same breakdown. So don't quote me on that.
Standard, extra, and premium or something, right? There's like 3 tiers.
Okay, in all candidness, I just looked at this. I'm like, it doesn't seem to have the same breakdown, but I would check out Japan Crate's website to see if they have the different tiers. They have had it before where there's like a basic, original, and then premium, but this looks like it's a nice big box. So this one is, you get all the things like we said, and then also let's show. It's like, let me find the bonus item because I'm always excited.
I was going to say, show me that bonus item so I know whether to call dibs on it.
Right? Well, where it's in the bottom.
Continually calling dibs on things in your box.
Wait a minute. Oh, there it is. I was going to say, no bad jokes. Hey! Anyways.
ASMR jokes
on this show. Then, there we go. Kit Kat. Ooh, there it is. Sorry. Bonus item. Cheesecake flavored mini Kit Kats. Entire bag. These are great because they break it down. They have it break down a piece of that Kit Kat. Anyway, they're individually wrapped. So in case you only want one,
it's been a while.
Just one, and then it's great to share. So in the mood for some cheesecake, open up and enjoy this entire pack of white chocolate Kit Kats. Oh, I said cheesecake. Excuse me. White chocolate Kit Kats with cheesecake flavor. There we go. Blended into their creamy filling. Cheesecake and white chocolate make a perfect combination. They'll keep you coming back until you've finished the whole bag. Yay!
And for those who aren't familiar, Japanese cheesecake actually tastes very different from American cheesecake. It actually tastes, I don't want to be like a little more cheesy because people think of like American cheese and go, like that, really? It's creamier. It's very fluffy. If you have like an 85 degrees or another Asian bakery near you and you're able to get cheesecake there, it's a different flavor experience than you would think of for your, say, New York style classic cheesecake. So highly recommended.
Yes. I love those. And then
support your local Asian bakeries. They are wonderful.
Indeed.
They are so good.
And the nice little markets too that are more specific as well. All right. Also, the beverages are always fun. We got Skol. Wait, that way. There we go. It is Skol White. This drink is the first of its kind in Japan. A carbonated milk-based soda with a hint of lemon is the perfect thirst quencher.
So it's like creamy Sprite.
Yeah, I guess so.
like Calpico, but more citrusy than your general Calpico lemon. Oh, are we doing this?
Yes, I'm gonna do it.
Hell yeah! Ooh. Let's do it.
It's very bubbly.
I don't know if my mic's picking up on that, but the cat is under me and yelling.
I heard the cat.
Yep. Winter says hi.
I would say it's like a creamier squirt. Like if you're familiar
so more
with
squirt than Sprite.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting because squirt's supposed to be like grapefruit.
Less of grapefruit, but
yeah,
I feel
citrusy.
Like Sprites and 7-Ups are more clear, and the way squirt is thicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
like
Squirt also has more of a citrus hit, whereas Sprite and 7-Up are definitely on the sweeter side.
Yeah. It's good. It's different.
It sounds good.
It is a different one. I like it. And then there was one other thing that
is
kind of cool.
Skol. If anyone wants to try to find that on, is it Sugoi Mart? That is Japan Crate's a la carte purchasing. Yeah. Right so if anyone wants to find it on Sugoi Mart, it is Skal. Skal.
Also, the other thing with a lot of these, they have like a build your own DIY candies, which are very fun. So this is colorful gummy experiment. So, and I just saw this. I'm like, wait, I want to show this off. Look, it's like a little ice cream cone.
Oh yeah. Oh, those are good. They're very fluffy.
Yes.
It's like it's all like meringue.
Yeah. So anyway, check those out. And then if you join their you can take your photos and get those featured, possibly. So yes, thank you. Whoop. As I
was there a specific theme this month, or was it just meh?
Yes. Hold on. As I drop, it's gonna
be
May. I dropped the flyer.
I have to ask because it's my birth month and I have to make it.
Yay! Yes, ma'am. Let me see. What's in this month's crate? May's crate is a trip back in time. Oh, okay. So, trip to the market. Take a trip through the winding streets of an old Japanese. Winding streets of an old Japanese market. This month's theme will transport you back in time. Heading down to a traditional market in Japan to pick up some fresh produce is an awesome experience. So, we've included loads of fruit and vegetables inspired treats, as well as some old school classics for you to enjoy in this month's crate.
Hence that's cute. Okay, because I thought I'd seen Skol like around before. I didn't think it was a new thing. So
this one too. I remember I've seen these, but different flavors. So we got chocolate.
Yeah.
Nice. Have fun.
The classics. That's fun.
Yes. So thank you, Japan Crate. My mic was moving there.
I was going to say, where did the mic go?
Check them out online, and always fun to have their treats for myself and to share.
Yeah.
Yay.
Thank you for sharing with me.
Yes.
Though, thank you.
Yes, of course. We also, I think it's still in the description. Kind of a throwback. We went and covered the Journey movie premiere, so you can go watch a link to all those interviews in case you've missed it. And then that was a nice time when I met up with Katie, and I was like, here's Japan Crate candy for you.
I was handed a bag of candy, and that really came in handy when we were stuck in the parking garage on the way home. Because another event let out at about the same time we got out. So everyone was like, let's leave. And everyone was gridlocked. And we were like,
yep,
this is fun. Cool.
So that was my things we're excited. Do you have one? Or are we ready for your gaming news? Because you got some gaming
You
stuff.
say that like the gaming news isn't what I'm excited about.
This is true. So we also have
I
that with
thought
this
that you
segment
would. I thought that you would bring up for things you were excited about that the dub of Rising of Shield Hero Season 2 is dropping soon.
I don't watch the dub, but I appreciate that you
Well,
shared
it's
that as yeah.
still
This
exciting.
is true. It is. Well, I haven't actually sat and watched it because I was waiting to stack up a couple episodes before I binge it.
Ah,
But
you have more
I
patience than I do.
yeah. But it's like backtracking on stuff of catching up because that'll be our later things we've watched. But that counts as our news a little bit in terms of yes,
Yeah,
if you're a
yeah,
fan
yeah.
of Rise of the Shield Hero, go check out new episodes that are now dubbed. All right, there we go.
Yes.
Things we're excited about can also blend into gaming news. Woo!
So the Overwatch 2 beta dropped. Not everyone has access yet, but your girl was lucky enough to get access on day one and played it for a little bit on Thursday, and it's a wild one. Honestly, the
Okay.
joke that I have here is that all that's available right now is quick play and it's unranked. So basically, most of my quick play experience was getting thrown in with a bunch of people who didn't communicate or weren't interested and then started leaving when we started losing. So it's your basic Overwatch quick play experience. Nothing's changed.
Oh, okay.
Quick play, for those unfamiliar with the Overwatch community, quick play is kind of known as the we just kind of go here to mess around. Ranked is where you take it seriously, but quick play is like, whatever, let's just warm up here. So the fact that all that's available in the beta is the training arena and quick play is hysterical to me because there's no rank, there's no matchmaking. So if you're in the beta right now, you could be thrown in with someone like me who is hard stuck in bronze, or you could be thrown in with actual Overwatch League players.
That's
You'd
kind of
never know.
exciting.
It's
Yeah.
not, oh, everything is unbalanced and it's wonderful. The
Okay.
newest character that they added, Sojourn, who we have been waiting for forever. We finally have a Black woman in Overwatch. And I know there's contention about, well, this person, in terms of an American Black woman, because Black culture in America is different than Black culture in other countries. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not qualified. I know that much, but I'm not qualified to talk about it in depth. But we do have that particular type of representation in Overwatch now. And Sojourn is terrifying. She needs to be balanced because she's hella overpowered. And in the hands of a pro, she is a scary, scary character, which is amazing. So, yeah, if you are able to get into the beta, if you've been able to play it, like, hit me up. I want to know your experiences. I have been getting shut down left, right, and center, but that's my experience playing Overwatch anyway. Hard stuck in bronze. Nothing has changed for me because they haven't edited the supports I play. But seeing the new graphics, getting completely lost in the new maps, and I mean straight up lost. Where am I supposed to be? It's a good time. It's good to be back into Overwatch. It's good to be really excited about new content for that again, because we had a bit of a drought for new content because they were working on 2. And if you have not yet been able to get into 2, if you weren't picked from the initial signups, and if you weren't able to watch the 5 hours of Twitch stream on, I think it was Friday when they were doing that. No, Wednesday when they were doing that event. They will also be offering stream codes as drops. Stream codes. They will be offering beta entrants as drops when Overwatch League starts on the 5th in 3 days. So, tune into Overwatch League, do the whole thing where you hook up your Battle.net account to your YouTube account, get the drops, because they will be doing those during League. And of course, the other bit of gaming news is Overwatch League is starting. You guys, I'm so excited. The off season has been so long. It's been so long. It's been the better part of a year. It's been way too long. And so I'm very excited to see this back. And I know that we are starting with live events. There's actually one being held in Houston, I believe. The Houston Outlaws are hosting the Battle of Texas on the 6th. So I think there are still tickets available if anyone's in Texas and wants to roll down there and have fun there. I'm still kind of waiting for our local LA team, for the LA Gladiators, to talk about live events. But I can't blame anyone for not wanting to host them or attend them because we are still in a pandemic and these are indoor events. Like this, I understand the balancing act happening here. That said, I am very, very excited for this. And if anyone else is going to be watching along with me, like, I want to know. I want to know who your teams are. I want to know if you're doing pick'ems. I just talk with me. Come to me, Overwatch League community. Let's go. And everyone in the comments is like, nobody cares about this but you.
No, it's everyone's very nice in our comments. No,
I know.
no, it just
I know.
makes me
Everyone's
think
nice in our comments, but they could still be like, well, I don't watch it. Well, you should start. They tell you how to play the game, and then you can arbitrarily pick a team based on their color or mascot or location and then support them. That's what I did.
well,
And
it
then the
just makes
Valiant
me
betrayed me. So now I support the Gladiators.
well pivot on that. It's just, but it is the thing of whenever somebody's really truly excited about something, even if you have no idea what the fuck they're talking about, essentially that person's enthusiasm makes it interesting. So even though I'm like, I don't know really anything much about Overwatch besides what I've seen with you and hung out with you, or just what at cons, but I like hearing you talk about it. I'm like, yes, but I know I've had that when I've been excited about something and people are like, I have no idea what that is, but I like the energy you have.
It's one of those like, I have no context, I have no idea what this is,
Yeah.
but like, keep going, it's fun.
Giga Derek says, I'll need 2 teams to follow.
Do you care about logos, colors, locations, or just random? What do you into?
We'll wait while they
Yeah.
think of that.
Because it really does depend. Like if we're doing, oh well, I'm going to support a team of the colors I'm wearing right now. That would be Gladiators. They're purple and white. That wasn't planned today. I was wearing my nice Ace flag shell from Elhofer Design, but like, hey.
Yeah. Also looking here, we got John Knight in the chat mentioning how back to Rising of the Shield Hero, Stephen Fu is the new voice of Naofumi in Rising of the Shield Hero Season 2, and the dub's coming May 4th, as you were mentioning earlier. So that's cool.
Day after tomorrow.
Yes.
That's Wednesday.
It's very soon.
That's Wednesday, because League starts on Thursday because it goes 4 days a week. It should be 4 days a week.
Yes.
And that's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Which also pivot on that. And I guess that was tied into news for you nerds out there. We're pivoting all over the place. Hope everybody had a good job with Hotel Apocalypse for Comic-Con. That was recently, and we will be finding out what we got on the 3rd or the 10th. If you got in round 1, I participated. I think I did good, but it's one of those you really have no idea until they tell you. So may the odds be ever in your favor if you participated, and hopefully we'll be seeing you at Comic-Con. So
I figure you win if you got a hotel room at all. You got lucky if you got one near one of the tram stops, and holy cow if you got one near the convention center. Those are the tiers. Like if you get in at all, you win.
This is true. We're going to stay here on Tangent Corner a moment because that's the other thing. We talk about anime here as well as other nerdy stuff. Would you be willing to pay more for proximity for a hotel? I mean, obviously, we all have our own individual budgets, but is that worth the cost to you?
For me, the only convention for me where proximity is worth the cost is Gallifrey. And that is because the culture of Gallifrey is if you are staying there, if you're chilling, you can be up until 2, 3 a.m. hanging out with other attendees, with talent, with the writers and artists and actors and directors and everything, all of the people involved in Doctor Who at all of the different levels and all the different media types. And it's at the point where when the convention floor ends for the day, it moves up to the hotel lobby and they call it LobbyCon, and it's the second half of the convention. So at one point I made a ribbon that said, one does not simply drive home from Gallifrey. So that's that particular convention culture where it is worth it to me to be staying not only close, but in the hotel. Because this convention is held in the airport Marriott near LAX. So there's a bunch of hotels around there. A bunch of them are within walking distance, but I don't want to be walking outside by myself at 2, 3 in the morning. Forget that. So for me, it is 110% worth it to throw in for the Hotel Apocalypse, which is the 6th. Oh my God, that's Friday. That's going to be fun. So it's worth it for me to get the on-site hotel room for Gallifrey. Every time I've done
but didn't that just
February, it did. And I had a hotel room.
Okay.
It was very worth it to me for getting a hotel room
on the 6th
for Gallifrey next year.
Oh, wow. They do it that far in advance.
That's when the hotel block opens.
Oh, because Comic-Con was only like last week for July. So
yeah. No, it goes early, and it's basically the Hunger Games. It's not you throw in the pool and you hope. It's you get one or you don't.
Giga Derek says, I tried that for Connection a few years ago with the hotel attached to the convention center. Honestly, a massive headache.
Connecticon? Yeah.
Oh,
that's, fair. It's not easy.
I'm all Connecticon. Cool.
Yeah. No, it's doable, but it's hard. It's very much the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
So that's the only time when it's worth it. San Diego, every time I've been near a tram stop, and it's been super easy to just like buy a 4-day tram pass and just take that and not have to worry about it.
I'm someone who does not give myself much time for getting ready, so I generally need to be somewhere faster.
Fair.
So but I know that about myself. It's one of those, it's not really right or wrong or good or bad. It's more just so for me, I want to be walking distance from where I want to be. But I walk fast. I'm okay walking. But I picked hotels that were within a reasonable-ish budget for myself. Definitely more than what we would normally pay, but it is what it is. But I was like, I'll be willing to pay a little bit more if I got close. So here's hoping for us all, everybody. Anyway,
Derek, you never told me what you wanted your team support to be based on, so I need you to tell me that, or I'm just going to assign you the same teams that I follow. That's how this works.
You're like, come on now. Yes.
Yeah. Yep. You gotta tell me, dude, so I can give you feedback.
That was our tangent. Which did you still have more gaming, or are we ready for Spy Family?
I mean, I could continue to go on about Overwatch
So
League,
Spy Family.
See, told you.
No, we don't want to keep you all here all night long. But yes, Spy Family.
I will pivot back if Derek gives me colors. I will pivot back if Derek gives me criteria, though.
Yeah, we can take a pause. Newest episode just dropped, and this I wore a little more fancy because I was being more elegant. It's elegant. The word of the day. Which funny is, if you're watching it for Japanese with subtitles, is hearing him say elegant in English is so funny.
Yes.
Quick pivot. Gary Derek says, I'll go with your favorite and least favorite. Ooh, okay.
Congratulations. You are supporting both Los Angeles teams. You're supporting the Gladiators, and you're supporting the Valiant.
I strive for an elegant balance. All right.
Good luck being a Valiant fan right now. I dislike them because they betrayed me and the entire fan base. And that was an organizational thing. That was not we don't blame the players. We don't blame the support staff. They were the ones that got hosed when the organization decided to cut all of their contracts with everyone and move to China. And also, there is some issue with whether or not the Chinese players were being paid fairly last year. So there's some hinky organizational stuff going on, but also because they picked up a team last minute and they had a rough time. The Valiant had a very bad season. They had season 1 Shanghai Dragons level bad season. It was a very rough time, and it was not for lack of trying on the players' part. So it's not an easy time to be a Valiant fan. And I refuse because the organization betrayed the fans and the players in the same way that many people refuse to support the Vancouver Titans because they betrayed their fans and their initial player lineup. They did not treat them well, and then they all just right before a season. So there's been some organizational hinkiness for those two teams. And I love the Gladiators, and also the Gladiators picked up Space, who is one of my favorite tanks and very, very good at his job. So shields up. Also, and I say this while I'm drinking out of my Valiant mug. I was a hardcore Valiant fan, and then things occurred.
We're all
If
tangents
you're
today
not
too, because I just
feeling,
saw there's a banner for unboxing. I forgot to use it.
oh no!
Anyways,
So if you're not feeling Valiant and you still want to go for a least favorite, you could also root for the Boston Uprising. Same exact color scheme.
that's
Yeah, there's
convenient.
nothing particularly wrong with Boston. I just don't care.
Yeah.
So that's that. Yeah,
Alrighty.
you can't really go wrong with any of the teams. Florida's going to be a fun one this year. I'm looking forward to Florida, and I think that's the first time I've said that about that team.
Well, I was gonna say, judging on appearances, what do you think of that scale of pass, fail, nope, just by you walking in?
What a bunch of hoity-toity jerks.
This is true.
Man, it's just, this is a group of people who are so far up their own asses. I could not think of another way to phrase that, and I tried for
No,
a few
it's
seconds
appropriate.
there.
Yeah.
This is just an institution that is just so far up its own ass and so full of itself and full of its opinion of itself
Mm-hmm.
that it's making these snap judgments as people walk in. So it's can any of them, like any of the people or any of the teams?
Oh, maybe. And then
We
also,
have an
quick
elegant
moment.
Overwatch League team, and
So
the
you're
answer to that
joining
is
late. We
probably
did
not.
unbox. We didn't unbox the beginning. I just forgot the unboxing banner, but
Yeah. And
yeah,
I do not
I
have
thought it
my
was.
Sakura Co box yet. It will
I
arrive at some point. It'll be good.
I thought, yeah, they are just so rude, and
Yeah.
I appreciated the callback essentially to that later when Midnight's like, or Twilight's like, you know what? If this is the vibe you guys are gonna have, I don't want to be here anyways. I'm like, yes, best burn to be like,
Ah!
nope. And I like that the headmaster guy's like, that's a good point, and he stood
How
up
can
for
I
his
call
convictions.
myself an educator?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is very much sometimes private schools are more for the parents,
Mm-hmm.
and that's very much what this feels like,
Yep.
just from the impression that we have. But yeah, there's for people who work in education, you can kind of tell who's spinning their wheels, who's coasting, and who's like really into it, who wants to be
Mm-hmm.
here, who cares. Like
Yeah.
when you are, and I worked in education for 7 years, and you could kind of, and just seeing this and seeing the difference in these three interviewers between the person who really does care and is kind and compassionate and the person who is absolutely coasting on this nepotism hire and doesn't care about the
Mm-hmm.
actual institution or anything and is just
Yep.
power tripping, and the person who is a little too caught up in image and needs that reality check because it turns out they do care about the educator part. They just
Mm-hmm.
forgot about that part of things, getting
Yep.
caught up in the image. It makes me wonder what the previous headmaster was like if this complete jerk in the middle is his son.
They could be the same or they could be very different.
Yeah, you never really know.
One of those. No.
You never know.
I thought this episode was so funny. It's so.
We have a
Constantly-
third change of clothes.
They're like, we were prepared. And then
This
like,
is backup plans for your backup plans for your backup plans, and that's what you get when dad is a spy.
yes, it does make a lot of sense. I just want to know how they changed and nobody saw / they did instantaneously of like, what? But
It's the
that's
Team
okay.
Rocket change.
Yeah, it's like new outfit. Pull it and toss new thing.
Perfect.
Yeah, I love the humor of it. It was just adorable, and how they're trying to, all work together, and when they're failing miserably, but like, no, we're gonna try our best.
Yeah.
Like, our Whittle family,
and just the tests from the school, the poor kids stuck in the grate and doing, I'm doing this for extra credit. I'm doing this for extra credit. With the, like, yes, if you help this child, it lessens your chances because you'll come in dirty clothes and we couldn't allow that. So it's like, it's very much saying, do you care about getting into this school, or are you a compassionate human being?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of fucked up.
Yep.
Like,
because they didn't care about helping the kid. No.
Do you care more about your goals than helping this child who is presumably stuck in a drain pipe?
Yeah.
Like, yikes. Yikes.
Also, our thumbnail, I like the giving honor to the
The founder, yeah.
I don't know. And then yours like, I don't know who this is, but I'll just be copying what Twilight's doing, I mean, she doesn't call him Twilight, but for us.
Yeah.
And then
Lloyd.
our little lady says, Baldy.
Bald head. I saw some discussion about this, and someone mentioned that Anya was 4. Like, that's just something I've seen in fan discussion. And if she really is that young, then a lot of what she does makes a lot more sense in terms of just messing up the pronunciation of words, not really remembering her whole address. Like, there are huge, just in children, there are huge developmental differences year to year to year. Yes. And so a 4-year-old is not going to have the same mental acumen as a 6-year-old. Yep. So Anya's working at a massive disadvantage here. Wouldn't her mind reading powers be an advantage? It also explains why her penmanship is so rough. Awful. She hasn't had the practice.
Mm-hmm. Sure, I'll buy that because 4, because 6 definitely not 6. I'm like maybe 5, but also
she's very small. She's messing up words. She doesn't have good penmanship. Like, she's younger.
She wasn't raised in a situation of education either.
Nope.
And nurturing. Nope. So.
Nope.
She could be 5, but mentally is not as caught up too.
Or just doesn't have the practice, Yeah.
Hasn't had something to, or anybody care to get her to be better at it,
Yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to think of other things that were just so fun. The animals getting out is actually an accident.
And just wait a minute. Oh, no.
Yeah.
And then you're explaining, I heard about pressure points in yoga class. Amazing. What a queen.
And then ripped her clothes, but it's okay. And she did so good. And
the change of clothes.
I did like them looking at her like, how do you know how to? No. Sure, pressure points, but I'm an acrobat and can do all these crazy things. And that's why I'd be more surprised. Not the pressure points, but I'm like, how did you, if you're a normal person, it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, where did you come from? Okay. Yes. So the walk-in was definitely, that's where most of the comedy was. Because getting into the interview. Watched. Yeah. 4 up there, 2 up there. Okay, we're already being judged.
Too. I mean, not justifying the judging, but to observe people of how do you come in, how do you carry yourself, how do you interact when you don't know that you have to be on, like how is the kid clinging to their parents' arm, or are they walking confidently? Is the family bickering? Like, those could be observational things prior to even coming into an interview. But this didn't seem like that. They're like, nah, fail, pass, meh. Like, okay.
Honestly, I just want to know how Twilight managed to bug the interview room beforehand.
I was wondering that too. I'm like, how did you get?
He is just that good.
Yes. That he punched a mosquito too. And then them wanting to, like, that, I just love the making your heart melt moments too, of Anya getting upset and you're, just feeling for this person who's upset. Is because, side note, I'm like, this is not really full tangent, but I like that it was just caring for another person and not just like mommy instinct. Just because I feel that can be sometimes dismissive for women caring for a child. It's like, no, this is just a person in distress. And then even Twilight's like, whoa, uncalled for, and I'm like,
just the whole like, oh, well, she likes her other mom better. It's like, oh my God, this is a dude who does deserve to be punched.
Yes.
I think Twilight would have taken his head clean off if that had impacted.
Probably.
But don't grow feelings. I grew feelings.
Yes.
This is a problem.
How their hearts were melting when Anya's just like, I just love my mommy and daddy and I want us to be together. And they both were like, aw, okay.
And it's like, yeah, we have a great family. And then just the child like, family. I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
I do like that the headmaster punched him though.
Yes. It's like, take him down. I'm not sure was that the headmaster or was that the head, because they were talking about the headmaster like it was a different
master. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was housemaster. Correct.
Because they were
Thank
talking
you.
about the headmaster as a different person with the
Right.
whole, like, oh, I want to find out what the boss is doing. She's very ambitious. She wants to know how the headmaster got to be in charge of everything.
And
Just
then they're
like,
like, "Oh, how
ugh.
admirable that you're so young and already thinking about that." You're like,
Do you know our
woo!
headmaster's
Babe.
name? Kind of.
It's like, somebody think it, please. Yeah.
And he did, and she picked it
Yes,
up
Yor
still.
was ready to kill that jerk. Agreed. She's like, this is not trivial and just uncalled for. I do like that the housemaster called him out on it too, of like,
Yeah, yeah.
no. Because they could have gone through and been like, whatever, or just like not care. So
Yeah.
I like that people were
And
get
just
him.
this guy who's going through a divorce himself, lost
I'm
custody,
in
and is like,
pain. I
I'm going to
must
make
push them
everyone
others.
else miserable. Like,
Yes.
dude, you're the one with the problems
Yep.
here. Like,
Yep. But beside all that, it was still so funny and lots of awes.
yeah.
Oh, I like the how'd you meet each other? Oh, we met at the seamstress shop. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
good save, because that's truth.
that is the truth.
And it just is told differently for them. And parenting style was cute response too. I was like,
Was definitely better
oh,
than strike first for decisive victory, which
yes.
continues to be one of my favorite moments in this
Yeah.
show. It's just like, that's amazing. And then her answer to like, oh, what do you do on your days off? Well, we eat the opera and we go to the museum. It's just like, oh, baby.
And that makes sense too that they're all young coming in, because why would you bother asking a kid what's your address, you know? But it's more to
Yeah,
see, can you understand that? Can you repeat it and know it
yeah.
versus like,
Do you have
okay,
these things memorized? How much
yep,
do you know? How much do you?
yep.
Oh, she barely passed the exam. Well, she's charming and ambitious, and she's got a charming family who are
Mhm.
elegant and
So
fire forever.
elegant.
So
Okay.
elegant.
Oh
Yeah,
man, he
yeah.
was
I feel like
such a cute.
fewer people would have been failed had it not been for the middle interviewer doing his best to just heck up everyone.
Well, I think he especially wasn't happy with this supposedly in love couple, which
Yeah,
he doesn't know that it's fake. But I'm like, oh, maybe this is another person who can recognize more of what's going on because they are so cute together. And yeah, that's the no, just because you're miserable, do not spread your misery on other people. No.
well, and also, this seems to be just the way they're talking about it, and from what we can infer of the culture of this country, this seems to be a country where being a single parent is seen as baggage and tends to be anathema for people who are dating, which is why there's a
Yep.
lot of, oh, well, you chose to date a man who already had a child. So we have this guy who's getting divorced. And like,
Mm-hmm.
that may not necessarily be something you divulge when you're on the dating scene, but that doesn't mean it won't come up. That doesn't mean it's not in records. Like, that is
Mm-hmm.
something that people can find out and that people in the upper echelons of society would know, because if this guy is an instructor at this prestigious, I almost said university, this is an elementary school,
It's a
an
kid
academy,
university.
it's kid university, at
Yes.
this prestigious academy, like, people would know.
Yep.
So his social life, or at least his dating life, is dead. And here he sees this blended family that he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't know is fake and on a spy mission, etc. He just sees this guy, had a kid, and still found a new person, and oh, they're in love. I hate you all. Just
Mm-hmm.
that sort of thing. It's that I'm going to be in his situation soon and I'm bitter.
Yes.
So
Very
yeah,
bitter.
I don't think he saw through any of
No.
that. I think that was just him going,
I
if
think
I'm not allowed to
I'm
be happy, you are not allowed to be happy.
I
Because
meant it
some
in
people
terms
are
of he's
dicks.
seen something the way the old lady saw something too. Of
Oh.
oh, like they're even our couple again, this is shipping the couple that hasn't decided they want to be together yet, but outside people recognizing, oh, they really do like each other. And so
I
and
don't
they
think
have a
he sees
connection like this.
anything.
What?
I don't think he sees anything past the surface level.
Yeah,
I
probably
think he's the
maybe.
kind of guy that doesn't bother to.
Yeah. I loved the Forger's declaration of like how they met each other and how they have so much in common. And yours blushing, but I don't think he was saying it to be romantic, but I know she was taking it that way, and I thought that
Yeah.
was super sweet. Of like, oh, that's a good point, and that's why you guys are so good for each other. So you're
Again,
just
I
very
keep
well
coming
suited.
back to the God made two of them Garfield
Yes.
comic because, like, this
Yeah.
this entire family is just head empty, no thoughts. Twilight
Yes.
is the one who holds the brain cell most of the time, and unfortunately, he has extremely high wisdom and extremely high intelligence, rather, and just wisdom is his dump stat.
Yes. He
All
definitely.
right, insight is a wisdom check, and he has a lot of that. It's one of those things where it's like it's all very analytical. Again, we talked about like zero people skill,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
knowing how to use people as tools, understanding like, oh, as a spy, I know how to become what this person wants me to
Mm-hmm.
be. Like understanding how things work, but not always getting the why, which is why we have
Mm-hmm.
him going, calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down. I am growing feelings for this family. Oh dear.
Mm-hmm.
There's a
But
mosquito on that table. I smashed it. We should leave.
I'm trying to think of it. I think those were the main things that stood out to me that I really enjoyed. Just overall, I liked the humor of it and then the little bits of action. And now I'm just
Yeah.
really curious to see other students.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, we
Anya
know
interact
that
with them.
Anya's getting in because we wouldn't have a show otherwise.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and we keep showing like little flashes of other students, etc., in the opening and the ending. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
we know she's getting in, just on a above table level. We know that she's gonna get in, and that it's
Oh,
probably gonna be on the strength of the other two people looking at their middle compatriot and going, "What?"
oh, well, I actually, speaking of a what, I like the moment where essentially she reads his thoughts and he is kind of like, wait a minute, how did she pick, how could she have guessed that right
Yeah,
at this moment? I was like, but it goes back to his zero people skills that I don't think he's observant, but
yeah.
this might be too bizarre for him to think there's a
And
connection.
like we sit here and go, "Oh yeah, the kid's psychic because it's a fictional trope. It's fun." If
Yeah.
this is something that is seen as fictional in universe, he has no reason to think that this child
Mm,
that he picked up in this not great orphanage, let's be real,
yeah.
not great orphanage was a government experiment and has psychic powers. Like that is the stuff of fiction, sometimes even within the world of a fiction. So
Mm-hmm.
if it's not something that's widely known or normal in this world, there's no
That's a good
reason for
point.
him to suspect it. He could think of 50 practical explanations before coming up with, I guess my daughter's a government experiment who's psychic now.
Did you like her explanation of like how she would accomplish her goal and is based on her sci-fi or on her spy show?
That is very small child. That is
Yes.
extremely kids act like this. And
Yep.
it's, again, Anya
It
is
was
such an
precious.
incredibly well done child character. Just
Mm-hmm.
very, very well written and executed. I love it. I love it. It's so hard to get kids down in fiction, and she's great.
Yeah. I loved her freak out moments and trying to be focused and everything, and just her trying to deal with it all. And then yeah, she only had her one kind of pass out after some of the other animal stuff,
Yeah.
but not too bad because they asked. I like that they asked her of like, "Ooh, there's a lot of people. Are you going to be okay?" And
Yeah.
yeah, I think that kind of covers it. Was there anything else that
Yeah.
stood out to you from the episode?
No.
No.
It's the thing about covering Spy Family is that it is in its heart a comedy. So we're not going to have as I don't think I'm going to have like
Yeah, not quite
a
theories
murder
just yet.
board.
Not yet,
I
because
might
there is
later
some stuff
on.
going on. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I might later on, but right now we don't really have anything for the murder board.
No.
And I don't see me adding too much per episode. So that's what a lot of the meat of our discussions for Ranking of Kings were about, was we had a lot of theories, we had a lot of predictions, and for this one it's just like we're along for the ride. It is a joy. So it's going to be, slightly shorter recap. There's nothing wrong with that. That's
Yeah.
just differences in genre.
Yes. And so if there's anything we didn't get to or that stood out to you in the episode, leave a comment down below. And so
Also,
now,
if anyone can confirm how old Anya actually is without like spoiling us, like a
yes.
no context answer would be great.
Yes.
Very much appreciate that if anyone out there is reading the manga and knows the answer for sure.
Yeah.
But aside from that, no spoilers.
Yeah. Good job. Though I think I was on Twitter and I was just looking at the hashtag. There are pictures, I think, of upcoming characters we'll meet. So I was just kind of like, I just wanted to know what everybody's using.
Yep. You
'Cause I've
gotta
seen-
stay out of the hashtag. It's yep, spoilers.
Yeah.
All the spoilers.
Nothing too bad, but
That's life.
alrighty. So though, speaking of recommendations though, so stuff you should check out is it covers stuff that we've been watching, reading, or games or whatnot that we think you should check out. One I was watching a little bit today. I don't think I had talked about it just yet, and it's been out for a little while, but it was on a streaming platform I didn't have access to, so I didn't watch it. But I finally started Ted Lasso on Apple Plus. It's precious. I love it so much.
I've heard very good things.
It's a very feel-good show. It is sports, but you don't need to know anything about sports because it is the rooting for the underdog. It is the having kindness and optimism be a focus of your life, even when there are adversity and other negative things around you. But you can still be human, and so it's very funny. It is quirky, a bit British humor too. That I know some people maybe it wouldn't quite be their cup of tea, but I think it's very charming and very funny. That if you have Apple Plus, I do highly recommend Ted Lasso. It's a good feel good, and it's only like the 30-minute episodes. I was so getting used to watching the 45 or hour long shows. I'm like, this is perfect. I just need a little something while I'm eating my breakfast, or just a little quick something, and I am liking it so much.
Because the premise is a British football team accidentally hires an American football coach,
there's
right?
more to
Something
it,
like that.
but yes,
That's what I know of, like the one sentence pitch.
Yeah, there's a British soccer team, or football, as they call it, but our soccer for here. And they hire this American coach, but there's more to the motivation there. But it's this hyper optimistic person, but genuine optimism. Because there's like that optimism where you're just like, do they really
toxic
mean
positivity?
Yes, he is not toxic positivity, and he's just motivational. Like there's a bit where this isn't a spoiler, but it's a funny thing of there's a character that's just very like in themselves and kind of more shy, and they're kind of stuttering, and he's like, oh, what was that? What? I have a hard time hearing people that don't have confidence in themselves. And it feels like a burn, but that is that push that person needs to go, okay, and then talk. So like there's things like that are rather like, aw. So I do recommend that. We got sweet. Yeah, it's one of those like just sometimes you want like I just need a feel good something show.
Yeah. That is when I put on The Good Place again.
Yeah, Giga Derek says her paperwork says 6, and that's all I can find without spoiling it myself.
Fair. Do not feel the need to spoil yourself on her behalf.
Because even if she is 6, we could definitely go. She did not have school or parental or authority positive guidance that she could be underdeveloped of socially and mentally.
There's also the question of whether she remembers her parents. Like I'm going to go with
core with her mom, yes,
but also what happened there.
I haven't finished it, but speaking of things watching and not feel good, John Knight says, have you watched the dub finale of Attack on Titan Season 4 Part 2? I have been catching back up with Attack on Titan. That was another one that I was waiting for them to be out for a while because I'm like, I just want to binge this. I have only like a few more episodes to go, so I'll probably talk about how I feel about how it ends. Because I'm like, I didn't hear that people are like
super not caught up. So like
that is a heavy, dark show. So I'm like,
that's why I'm super not caught up.
Yes.
I abruptly ran out of spoons when we were watching it, Ruby, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier at the same time. Like I just couldn't do it.
One other recommendation real quick before I'll toss it to Katie. This past weekend, I was covering the Indian Film Festival of Los Angeles and saw some really great films. And I don't know when it will be coming out, but there's a film called Last Film Show. It's by Pan Nailan, and it is a beautiful homage to of cinema, and it's kind of based on the director's true story of when he's a kid there's a theater house in the 90s in India, and they have like a film projector with film, and this kid exchanges his mom's beautiful and yummy. That looks so good. Don't watch this movie hungry. Because the food, I'm like, I want to eat all this food. He exchanges the lunches his mom makes to hang out in the projectionist room so he can watch movies for free.
Oh.
And it's just precious of that, and just what happens when that technology is not a thing anymore, and digital, and his family's like, his dad's like, cinema is a waste of time and all that, but this kid is just enamored by it. So it's a very beautiful film. They did get distribution. I don't know when, but be on the lookout for Last Film Show. And yes,
Nice.
And then, all right, toss it that way to Katie.
I have not been consuming anything new. This has been one of those going through VODs of older streams and going through and watching, the same video I've watched 50 times, which in this case is the 10-minute power hour where they go play mini golf. It's just that same 17 minutes over and over again. So we're going to go back to something I've already recommended because one, it's right here because there's always a book on my desk. And two, it's perennial. Y'all need to read some Discworld. All right? Like if you haven't yet, please start. They also, I believe there are a good number of them in audiobook format. I think there may have been, I know there was an adaptation of Hogfather that is a pretty solid movie. There is an adaptation of The Watch, which you should never watch. Well, it's okay if it's its own thing. It's not a good Discworld adaptation. But you should read any and all of the Discworld novels. It is a series of novels by the late, great Sir Terry Pratchett, and it is a series of satire fantasy novels. So everything that's written in Discworld reflects something in real life, or what they refer to as the round world. There are a number of plot lines, groups of characters, etc., that kind of go on their own. So there's a bunch of books about the Watch, and those are our whodunits, and they're about essentially the police force in the largest city. And Terry Pratchett was a brilliant but very angry man, and you can really see it in the Watch books because he's very, very funny. He is hysterical. But if you've seen that little 3 paragraphs going around talking about how a poor man who can only buy bad boots keeps having to buy bad boots and will spend twice as much money as a rich man spends on a good pair of boots. And in 10 years' time, the rich man will still have a good pair of boots and his feet will be dry. And the poor man will have spent 20 times as much money on bad boots and will still have wet feet, and call it the Sam Vine Boots Theory of Economics. That's Discworld. That's from the Watch books. And so he's very, very good at drawing you into the plot, making you interested in these characters, making you interested in all these things he says, and then hitting you in the face with something that's like, draw the immediate parallel to real life. You just kind of have to sit there for a moment and let it breathe. There's generally speaking at least one of those per book. Very, very good at human insight. So the Watch books are all about big city things, murder mysteries, generally policing, technology, inventions, etc. Very interesting stuff. Really good if you like whodunits because they are actual mysteries. The death books are about larger concepts. Those are the ones about time and faith and death and just things like that. I love those particularly, but I've always kind of loved death as a character. And if you've read Good Omens, the death that is in Good Omens is very much Terry Pratchett's death. That is his take on things, and it's amazing. The witches books all go into literature and fictional tropes. The first witches book is called The Weird Sisters, and it's a straight up take on Macbeth, and it's amazing. And then they go into fairy tales and the importance of stories, and there's a Phantom of the Opera send up that is wonderful. They're all great. The starting point that I tend to recommend is this one. It's called Going Postal, and it is the first of the Moist von Lipwig books, and they are about government institutions. So that one's about the post office, the importance of carrying a message, etc., etc. And it's a former con man having to rebuild political institutions that have been in trouble. The next one is about the bank. Like, they are hysterical. They're set in the city, so you get to see a lot of the characters. You get to see the city watch. You get to see the patrician of the city, who is Vetinari, who is a kind of a Machiavellian send-up, but better. Vetinari is one of those characters that every DM wishes they could play on the fly. He's absolutely incredible. So that is the starting point that I recommend, because it's a slightly later book. Terry Pratchett's, you can really tell that he's got his style and his characters figured out at this point. It is a beautiful, wild ride. It is hysterically funny. And again, one or two moments where you just kind of have to put the book down and go, okay. It's like, you're enjoying this story, and now I'm going to make you think and feel things. You good? Great, pick it back up, because the next couple sentences are going to make you laugh your face off. All right, we're back in. Let's go. So yes, read Discworld. They're funny, they're smart, and they're good for you as a person.
Well, it's definitely a well-rounded reasoning of reasons to read it. There we go. Words. Yes. I was looking over in the chat. Gigaderic says, side note, thanks for the Twitter recommendation for Poets of the Fall.
They released a new album this week. I love them. I'm so excited. Yes. Listen to Poets of the Fall. They are, I think they're Finnish. They are a Scandinavian, European rock band. They sing in English. And their earlier albums are definitely more rock sound, and their later albums are there's a lot more different music influences in there. I have a hard time describing it, but there is a Poets of the Fall song for every mood, every fictional need, and every character. It just depends on what you're looking for. Like, Locking Up the Sun is the song that introduced me to them. And that is the song where that goes on every hero's journey, one man against the odds, every single playlist for that. You put Locking Up the Sun on there. Oh my God. I love Carnival of Rust. It's one of those weird, esoteric kind of aching songs. It's beautiful. Roses is just a very sweet love song. Love Will Come to You has made me cry more than once. It's great. My Dark Disquiet feels like an epic condensed into about 4.5 minutes. It's just, I will make a Spotify playlist and link it if anyone wants to see it. I have not yet, pardon me, I haven't had a chance to listen to the new album yet, but I'm very excited.
Nice.
But yeah, Poets of the Fall, highly recommended.
Well, we've recommended the stuff we've been checking out to you. Let us know if you've watched it, read it, and if you have any suggestions as well, leave a comment down below. Yeah. And then in a moment, we'll show you where you can also tell us online. But thank you so much for watching Nighttime at the Nerd Bar. Katie, where can people find you online?
A little too far over. That's fine. Here. You can follow me all over the social medias, as well as on YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. I also host on a sister channel called Silver Screams. That is Silver_Screams. We talk about spoopy things. It's a lot of fun. So follow all of those places. It's a good time.
Yes. And then there we go. Yay. I was thinking about it ahead of time. I'm like, wait, yes.
Whereas I'm just weird. Like, it's over there.
Like, wait a minute, what? Yes, you can find me everywhere online at Carrie D Lane. That's KARIDLANE. And as I was saying earlier, I just went to the Indian Film Festival of Los Angeles, and I was covering that for Dia TV. So if you're into film festivals, foreign film, South Asian cinema, check them out on social media, or you can go to my page and I link it. It was really fun. Met amazing people. It was great. Just love of cinema and talking about movies all weekend long and watching some really cool movies. So check all of that out. And as I said earlier, check in the description down below in case you missed our coverage of the Journey premiere. You can watch the playlist where we talk to attendees and a couple people who are also involved with that movie. And then just stay tuned for other stuff coming your way. Thank you so much for watching. We love you. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe button, tell people about the show. And we'll be seeing you next time. See ya.